Hello and welcome to Around the Hoop, the Westwood basketball show. I'm your host, Mike Gay, and we have a special MIAA state playoff edition of Around the Hoop. Welcome, coaches.
Good to be here, Mike.
So before we get into the seedings and who you're going to play, we don't know quite yet when you're going to play. Let's talk about the week that was. So the last week, you finished out your regular season, and then the Riley Classic. We'll start with you, Coach.
Yeah, sure. So we wrapped up our league schedule out in Holliston last Friday night. Pretty quiet first half. We didn't really. Holliston came out and really strong. It was their last game. They didn't make the tournament, so they were ready. They were more ready for us than we were for them out of the gate. But we played a really good second half. Our senior captain Riley Murray was on fire. She couldn't miss and was a huge offensive spark for us. And we definitely got some key contributions down the stretch to pull away and win that game, which was nice to wrap up our TVL play. Then we hosted, both of us, the Riley Classic this weekend. For us, game-wise, that meant we took on Needham. We actually both had all talented Division I teams in the field, which is kind of by design. So we lost to Needham. Needham's defense was really good on a night that I don't think we were at our best, so that was a tough combination. We just struggled for most of the night, but still a good experience to play against a team like that. We came back in the consolation game the next day, lost to King Philip in a close game. Both teams shot pretty well. It was a really exciting game, a fun one to be a part of. We got to do some stuff down the stretch, executed some things well. We just couldn't do enough to win the game. But again, you get close game experience, which if that means we win a game next week because of it, then that'll make the loss worth it. But so disappointing results certainly in the win-loss column, but a really good tournament, and I think playing against that competition will help us for the state tournament coming up next week. Absolutely.
So any health updates? Are you healthy going into the tournament? Any players still on the bench?
Not
Elizabeth
quite.
Gill? No?
We have two people with concussions. Kind of 'tis the season. Elizabeth Gill is getting closer. She's definitely making a lot of improvements, but obviously with a brain, we're going to be careful and make sure we do it right. So we've been doing that. Riley Murray also has a concussion, something that was sort of lingering and kind of presented in a little bit of a strange fashion, but she's had kind of a tough week with that, so she's out. Not really sure when we'll get her back either. Other than that, we're a little bit banged up, but nothing on the injury report.
Understood.
At least.
Yeah. So again, a great experience for the girls, two tough Division I teams, and a lot of your, not just the Riley Classic, but in the regular season, you stack your non-league schedule with teams that will help you prepare for the tournament. So hopefully that's going to pay dividends. Yeah. Coach, speaking of paying dividends, talk about the final game against Holliston and then the Riley Classic.
Yeah, sure. The Holliston was a senior night, and so we started pretty slow, but then in the second half, we're able to really run away, and we scored a season high and probably program high of points, which was great for us to be able to do that and play a lot of guys. Everybody in this has scored that was on the roster, which was one of those situations which was really great to see guys cheer for plays that don't get in as much, and when they score, really cheer loud for them. So that was exciting. And then the Riley Classic, we had two great games. I mean, we played Shrewsbury High School, features a 6'7", 240-pound monster. The kid's a fantastic player, great kid. That was, we designed a play at the end of the game. It was tie score, and we got a bucket. John Ing hit a nice shot off a great pass from Favor, and that gave us the 2-point win. And then we played against Severian. Tough game. We were up. We were battling, and then they ended up beating us by 4. So that was great. And again, two great teams that prepare us so much more for the state tournament than we could ask for anything else. So it was great.
Absolutely. So same question I gave to Coach Clifford. Health update. How are you going into the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, pretty good. I mean, Owen Gaffney's a little banged up, but he's on the mend and hopeful that we'll be able to have him next week. Trainer's been really great. Owen's been really great taking care of himself and resting, and so the hope is that he'll be ready to play. And then other guys have bumps and bruises and bangs that every team has at this moment. We're just doing a great job trying to ice and stretch and soft tissue work and all the things that are necessary for them to relieve of those pains. But it's that time of year where everybody's knees and elbows are a little sore, so we'll be ready to go.
So before we transition into the MIA seedings and the tournament preview, we've now been sitting here for a month and a half, 2 months. Seems like longer. how have you done in your goal of getting better every day? Again, bit by the injury bug a little bit, but the girls seem to rally. Players that you weren't expecting as much from have stepped up. So we'll start with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the trend for the year has certainly been in the upward direction, which is great. Not every day is great, but I don't think you can really expect that, but that's obviously the goal. But the girls are working really hard. We've, taken the adversity, and they never really get down on themselves, whatever the injuries are. I think it's difficult, and you've experienced the same thing. When you have a concussion, it's not like there's a swollen ankle that you can watch the progress and really be able to predict.
Right.
When, Elizabeth Gill, who we'll get into later, but is the league MVP, goes down, is it 3 games, is it 5 games, and it turned into 9 games. And I think that sort of guessing game and not knowing can be hard. But I think the girls, and it starts with our senior leadership, have just been great about, we're still a really good team, and we have a lot of talent on our team. And like you said, kids have stepped up. We've needed scoring out of some people that we didn't need as much of, more minutes off the bench, and just roles are expanding, and the kids are stepping up and filling them really well. So hopefully once we get her back, obviously we'll be an even better team. But definitely improvement over the season has been there, and the kids are working really hard.
Same question to you. Again, I don't know if you stated it the same way as far as improving every day.
Yeah.
But seeing that growth as it leads up to the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, our big thing is we always talk about being your best, being your best at each moment that each possession, each practice, each drill, each game, and we have. I mean, the kids have really. They are an extremely hardworking group of young men, and they're fun to coach because of that, and they care about each other, and they play for each other. And that's what makes it fun to be in the gym with them and fun to be around them because of their effort. We've been working all year on our execution. And that's, to me, is sometimes the hardest part because it demands your attention. It demands your precision. And that's hard. It's hard for adults, and it's definitely hard for younger folks. So to their credit, though, they are working on those things, and they know what to do. It's just a matter of executing that on a consistent basis. So we are definitely had, and I told this to him in the locker room after the Severian game. I mean, I'm extremely proud of the regular season that we've had. We've done some amazing things. And because of that, it positioned us to be in a pretty good place for the tournament. And that's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask for, because that's what you control.
So let's take a look at some of the awards that both teams, part of the TVL Large. There's League MVP. Right. There are first team All-Stars. There's honorable mentions. We'll start with you, Coach.
Sure.
How did the boys do with the awards?
Very well. I mean, by being the league champs, we were able to secure some spots on the All-Star team. So first off the bat, Pat Riley was named MVP, and well-deserved. And then James McGowan was an All-Star. His second year of doing so. So as a freshman and a sophomore, he's been named as an All-Star. And then Favor Waraboku got an All-Star as well. So that was fantastic. And Coach will say this too. We're not allowed to vote for our players for MVP or for All-Star. You just nominate what you'd like, and then folks take it and go with it. And the way they do it is they just list them, and whoever gets the most votes becomes the MVP. But you can't vote for your own people. So I was very impressed to see that those things happen for those players because, and when we talk about that in the locker room, it's congratulations to them as well. But it's it's the old the all boats rise, with the high tide rises all boats, or whatever that saying is. You know what I mean? It's just
all boats rise.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's because of what the team has done. And that's something I learned in college. My college coach used to always say that to us, is that as the team does well, all the individual awards will come. And that's a lesson that I learned at a young age with a great coach. And that's stuff that we try to pass on to them because they all deserve those individual awards, but they did that because the team did very well.
Congrats on all of the, so 3 underclassmen named MVP. Correct. And All-Stars. Phenomenal for the boys. Coach, you had a couple of trophies as well.
Yeah, we had a similar lineup. I mentioned before we had the league MVP to Elizabeth Gill, which as a sophomore only playing 11 games is pretty incredible. Just shows what type of player she is. But this, the same you say, we had a couple All-Stars too, which I'll get to. But it's the team. It's a great day for the team when you get to come out with those individual recognitions. Seniors Hannah Bean and Fiona McGowan were also named to the league All-Star team, which was awesome. Those are two that especially have stepped up and expanded their roles, and we've demanded a lot more from them with Elizabeth out, and they've really kind of risen to that challenge, which has been great. We also tied with Norton for the Team Sportsmanship Award, which is one of my favorites. It's always nice to be recognized for playing the right way, and most teams do, and it kind of depends how the numbers shake out, but it's just nice to kind of add that to our list. So the meeting went really well. You forgot one. You're not going to be happy with me, but he got Coach of the Year on his side, which is well deserved. It's really nice for our kids to be recognized coming out of these meetings, but we talk year round all the time about basketball, and it's just nice for you to get that nod.
Thank you, Coach.
With all the work that is put in. So I knew you weren't going to say it.
Yeah, it comes off a little bit better with you recognizing them. And again, congrats to both of you for a great season, to the individual award winners, and as you both mentioned, that wouldn't be possible if every player on the roster didn't contribute, whether that be at practice or in games, key moments. Jonathan Ning hitting a shot at the end of the game. Those little things go a long way to rising that tide. So again, congrats. So now with all of these great awards and having a great season behind us, comes the MIA tournament. Right. And so it is about 4 o'clock on Friday the 22nd of February. The MIA seedings came out today.
Correct.
You know who you're playing, you just don't know when.
Right.
So, Coach, let's start with you. How did the boys fare?
So we were very fortunate to get a top 4 seed with a 4 seed, and what that means is that in the first and second round, you get to host games. Granted, you have to win the first round game to host the second, but that means we're home before you go to the neutral site places, and that's great because it gives the kids a chance to play in front of their own fans, and it makes a world of difference. With that, we start against O'Brien. City team, very, very good, have one of the best players in the state on their team, very well coached. He's been doing a great job there for a while. They did very well in the City League and in the City Tournament, so it's not going to be an easy game for us. It's going to be a really, really tough matchup, and we got to be ready to play. Yeah,
and you've seen O'Brien a few years ago, I believe, in the tournament. Did you play O'Brien?
We played O'Brien.
Oh,
they
sorry.
played
O'Brien. I'm confused. I know both of you have run up against some really good City teams.
Yes, oh yes.
And it's amazing where they, their records might not be as great, but playing in that City League really prepares every team for your best.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure the Bader Gymnasium will be rocking whenever that game is.
Yeah.
Typically that would either be a Tuesday or a Wednesday of this
That's
coming
what we
week.
think.
That's what we're leaning toward, but you never know.
Yeah, there you go. So again, congrats on a great seeding, and all of that hard work has paid off. Coach, how'd you fare?
Yeah, we obviously had a bunch of losses down the stretch, so we got bumped down the standings a little bit. We're the 11 seed in our bracket, so we'll travel to number 6, Old Rochester Regional down in Marion. So it's the towns of Marion, Mattapoisett, and Rochester. They play in the South Coast Conference, which is strong this year. They had a strong record. They went 16-4. They just played in a really competitive tournament over in Foxborough last week, where they lost to Foxborough and Scituate, but both talented teams in our field. So they're pretty battle tested coming in. They're a young team, but we'll do some scouting and prepare our best for them. It's going to be a long bus ride on a school night, and we got to make sure that we're focused and ready to go. But the girls are really excited, so we're looking forward to it. Oh,
that's great. And again, hopefully on both sides, anybody that's dinged up gets healthy.
Right.
When it comes to concussions, again, whatever the answer is, you embrace and you run with it. Right. So best of luck. Any parting shots? So we're going to do another one of these around the hoop. If not next Friday, whenever your run, maybe at the state tournament finals comes to an end. Any parting shots on this season? Any of the upcoming clinics that you want to give a shout out to, or anything?
First off, we just did a clinic with the kindergarten to 3rd grade Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun being in the gym. And the part that's so impressive that we always talk about is our players run these clinics with us. And for parents to come up and say, first of all, thanks for running it. It was well run. My kid had a great time. And they always include the fact that our players run it, and it makes such a difference to watch them do those things. So that's something that's special for us. And then, like I said before, this has been a great group of kids to coach. It's been a fun year. And it's something that Coach and I talk about a lot. We don't take it for granted, because you hear, Mike, from other coaches and other people in different areas that there are a lot of horror shows about the community and investment of everyone belonging to their program, whether it be the coaches, the players, the parents, administration, and the fact that we have all these folks invested in the well-being of the program, not just the wins and loss part, but the well-being of the way to do it right, how to educate it right, and investing in the kids growing and having a great experience. That means so much to us, because it doesn't happen everywhere. And year after year, I hear from a ton of coaches, not just basketball coaches, but coaches who coach other sports, both of us do, that their experience is one that is frightening to hear about. And it's becoming more of the norm, which is unfortunate. So I know we don't take this for granted at all, how special it is to be here and be able to be in this community and do this.
When you had the kindergarten through third grade clinic, were you scouting, looking for your class of 2028, 2029? Yeah. Do you see any real ballers out there?
It was a lot of fun. I think one of my favorite comments, we were talking to a mother about maybe putting some air in her kid's ball, and I took it. I was like, I think it's okay. And her response was, that's fine. He just runs with it anyway. He's not dribbling yet. So we got some work to do, but it's a lot of fun. And again, our high school kids are great. I've had a blast with my team this year. I think whether we lose in a heartbreaker or win a state championship, it's going to be a really difficult team to let go of, and that's true every year. But especially this year, it's been a lot of fun. And we can talk about this whenever we wrap things up. But I think both of us just, especially this time of year, appreciate how good our coaching staffs are, how invested they are in the kids, and how we're obviously both invested individually, but you can't do it without a support staff.
Absolutely.
And our coaches have been great. And as you gear up towards the playoffs, and we're dealing with scouting, and people are just so into it, which is so great to see.
Scouting
and
everywhere.
It's just great for the kids to have two groups of really good adults that are just trying to help them out in whatever way we can. So it's been a lot of fun.
No, that's great. It even goes beyond your coaching staff too. It's the staff that support you, whether that's Paul and the AD, the people that come out there and donate their time.
People who are doing the clock.
Yeah, exactly.
People. I mean, all the things that we talk about, how special it is, and we acknowledge them, but it really means a lot to us, because, I mean, look, we run the Riley Classic together, and then we do a tournament in the winter, and to be able to have folks that have invested in that stuff, they're giving away their holiday, their holiday time, and that's special. That's really special, and it doesn't happen everywhere, so we're very fortunate.
Well, congratulations. I think we're going to meet a few of your players, 2 or 3, depending on the car situation for one of them. Again, thank you so much for investing your time here with Around the Hoop.
Mike.
Good luck in the tournament. We will all be out to support you, whether that's at the Westwood High School, Beta Gymnasium, or down in Marion. Road trip. Get the buses queued up. So again, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Joining us next in the studio are the 3 seniors for the boys team. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
So it's not quite the end of the line yet, and as of right now, you know who you're playing in the tournament, just not exactly when. Congratulations on the 4 seed. A lot of hard work went into that from yourself as well as the rest of the team. I look at all of you, and I've seen you grow up playing from, some of you, 2nd and 3rd grade, and then when you transferred in. Let's just start with that journey. It's been kind of a fun ride. And you're not quite done yet, but it's getting close. Joey.
Yeah, it's been fun. A lot of ups and downs over the course of many years, but I found my passion in this game, I think, and it's just been great to pursue it for the past few years, and getting all the way to senior year, playing in the state tournament is going to be fun. So I can't wait.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I began playing basketball, so it's definitely crazy to look back and see how I've progressed as a player and also as a person. I think this has been kind of the perfect senior year. I mean, besides injury and everything, the team just really came together, and we put up 100-something points on our senior night, which was crazy. So it's been a really fun year.
I think it's really well how I've progressed as a player since the beginning, and I don't think it's fully set in how it's almost over yet. But the team's really come together this year, and looks pretty good.
That's great. So. again, a lot of senior leadership from the three of you, as well as the other captains. Fairly young team, only three seniors, whereas last year there were, a number of seniors. What have you respectively done to make sure that everybody stays together, that you have kind of gelled as that team? 103 points against Holliston, which, it would take me about 15 games to score 103 points.
Yeah.
Start with you, senior captain. Again, long run. How do you keep this team together and driven?
Well, last year there were a lot of different groups and like cliques. Like there were, I think, 11 seniors on the team at the end of the year, so it was kind of intimidating for young underclassmen to do that. And this year we've kind of just like made sure that everyone feels like equal and that they have a voice, and we're holding each other accountable, like even us seniors. So like we're making sure that like if a freshman has a problem with like what we're doing, then they can feel comfortable saying that, and vice versa.
How about
Yeah,
yourself?
I think also when adversity has hit this year, we've kind of stayed together more than last year. We've been comfortable with one another, talking about the issues we've been having on the court. And just staying together and keeping on track, and just continuing to progress even after a loss.
Anything to add, Shea?
Oh yeah, I think our team this year is really gelled together, where every single person feels that they have a voice in the team and can make a joke. Or yeah.
Some jokes, by the way, Owen, aren't
nice to
shared here. Past episode inside joke there.
Learn my lesson.
Yeah, there you go. Good talk. So now let's talk about the tournament. So you're the 4 seed. You're going to host at least one game, and if you're fortunate enough to beat O'Brien, you would proceed to host a second game at Beta Gymnasium at Westwood High School. So again, what are you doing for your own individual game, and then as leaders of this team, the 3 seniors, what are you doing to make sure that your team is ready?
Personally, I'm just trying to make sure I stay healthy and like get my body right, so that mentally that I can perform at the same level. And as a whole with the team, we're just like working to stay supportive of one another and continue to ride the high wave that we've been on this
There you
season,
go. So specifically to follow up on that, so what are you doing with Paul to make sure that you're ready?
Just icing down, using stim treatment, which is like electrodes that like go into draw blood to the area or whatever. So.
Nice. I apologize if I violated any HIPAA disclosure laws on that one. But so you're working with Paul.
Yeah.
And again, shout out to Paul Lilla, who does a phenomenal job with all of the teams. But this time of year, it's very much with the basketball team. Awesome. How about you? What are you doing both individually and as a team?
Individually, just trying to stay ready in practice, work on my game, whether it's Saturday morning, just going to get extra shots up, just doing what I can to get better individually. And as a team, just holding everyone accountable during practice and for their mistakes, and praising them when they're doing well. And just the same things we've been doing all year, just to keep that going for the tournament.
So what does that mean, holding everybody accountable? So is it making sure that people are mentally invested in every play of every practice of, is it, somebody makes a mistake, calling them out? What does that mean, holding them accountable?
Yeah, it's definitely both of those, I think. But also when they do something right, giving them or praising them and telling them they did a good job.
Do you do that public? I mean, is it a public, as again senior captains? Is that a public? You're making it clear that they're being called out again, either for positive or negative. Do you pull them aside? Does it vary based on the type of personality that you as a captain has?
Yeah, it definitely varies. So like if it's like repeated, so like something that they've done wrong, then obviously you're gonna like yell a little louder, or try to get the message across more. But everyone knows that there's no hard feelings, and that we're all family, so everything's taken well.
Awesome. Shea, how about yourself? What are you doing for your individual game? And then as a senior, how are you making sure that everybody, including the freshmen on this team, are ready?
Individually, I am making sure I stay rested and icing down after practice, making sure I'm ready for each game that's going to come. And overall as a team, I like to fire the guys up and give them some life to them.
How do you do it?
Congratulating them on shots, yelling a bunch, and really getting everybody into it.
Awesome. Now that's great. Well, again, it's been a fun ride, and I look at you and I'm proud of each and every one of you. I wish there were more seniors that think I failed as a WBA coach back in the day, but you guys have represented really, really well, and I can't wish you enough good wishes and luck in this tournament. But then again, really luck doesn't have a lot to do with it if you put in the effort. Be ready Tuesday or Wednesday or whenever you play O'Brien. May you have long runs.
Thank you.
And again, good luck with the colleges. I know it's college time, so everyone's looking at the mailbox in a little bit of a different way.
Yeah.
So good luck on that front as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Before we wrap, I just have got breaking news. The boys and girls game times has been announced. Hot off the presses, the boys will host O'Brien on Wednesday the 27th of February at 6:30 at Bader Gymnasium. So the boys are at home on Wednesday. The girls will travel down to Old Rochester Regional on Thursday at 6:30. So the boys are at home on Wednesday the 27th. The girls will travel and play Old Rochester Regional on Thursday. Want to give a quick shout out to both Coach Clifford and St. Martin. They've done a phenomenal job all season long, not only coaching their teams, creating a really phenomenal program that Westwood can be proud of, but giving so much of their time to join me in studio. It is very much appreciated. Maggie McGinnis has done a phenomenal job in working the booth and the board most of the time that we filmed. So thank you, Maggie. Connor Lynch and Melinda Garfield, Westwood Media Center's finest. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Without everything that you've done, this wouldn't be possible. We hope to be back at least one more time, if not two, for the 2018-2019 season. Please, please come support the boys on Wednesday and the girls. Let's show the rest of the state how Westwood travels. Let's all go down to Old Rochester Regional on Thursday to support the girls. Until next time, I'm Mike Gay. We'll see you around the hoop.